This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles. We never walk alone, forever true. We'll stay in tribute to our city, no matter where we go. This is our home.
Hello and welcome to This Week in LA. I am your host as always, Eli Lesser. We're entering crunch time for the rest of the 2018 MLS season. Playoffs are around the corner, and both LA teams have a great shot at making the playoffs, and we're gonna dig deep into that. So currently in the standings, LAFC is third in the Western Conference with 43 points. They're one win away from tying FC Dallas atop. If Dallas falls this weekend and LAFC gets the dub, they'll be tied for first. And then we have the LA Galaxy, who unfortunately fell out of the playoff race this week with RSL's demanding victory over the Colorado Rapids and the surge of the Sounders. But LA is tied with the sixth-seeded Sounders with 38 points, but they've played more games, so that's kind of a disadvantage. So they are currently in seventh. There's plenty of football or soccer to be played in the season. Both teams do have a great shot at making the playoffs, like I said. Let's get right into my previews for each club's games this weekend, starting with LAFC. They'll face off against Toronto tomorrow, September 1st at 5 p.m. Pacific time. The game will be on TSN, ESPN+, Unimas 46, and YouTube TV, LA region only. You know, they have that little partnership there. Anyways, Toronto FC is coming in hot right now. Although they haven't picked up many results recently, they are also really feeling the pressure as they are the MLS champions, the current MLS champions, trying to replicate the season they had last season. Well, it's not going to happen, but hey, they're just trying to make the playoffs, and unfortunately, they weren't able to build off that momentum they had against the Montreal Impact as they fell this Wednesday to the Portland Timbers. So expect a slightly wounded Toronto FC side as this will be their second game this week. They're still looking great, and they're starting to become healthy again, which is very scary because when healthy, this Toronto FC side is very, very, very good. Here's the projected lineup. This isn't what I think it will be, but this is the projected starting 11. You have Alex Bono at goalkeeper, Justin Morrow, Drew Moore, Eric Zavaleta, Gregory Vanderveer at defense. Then you have Michael Bradley, Jonathan Osorio, Marky Delgado, and Victor Vasquez in the midfield. And then up top, you have Sebastian Giovinco and Josie Altidore. That's a very, very, very good lineup. Arguably the best you could get with this Toronto FC side. They do have Auro and Chris Mavinga injured, but that doesn't compare to the injuries that they had at the beginning of the season. They were missing an Altidore, a Victor Vasquez, some of their key players like Drew Moore and Justin Morrow. But now they're becoming healthy again. So I am a bit worried for this LAFC side this weekend, who are a bit wounded right now. We have out Quian Roberts, Mark-Anthony Kaye. We already knew that. Adama Diomande is still out for LAFC with a left abductor strain. And then questionable, we have Danilo Silva, who suffered a leg injury early on in that last El Tráfico match. But I do think LAFC could come away with a result here on the road. It will be tough, as BMO Field is a fortress for Toronto FC. But let's go into my lineup. So this isn't what I exactly think it will be. Actually, my lineup is pretty close. But for these predictions, these aren't necessarily what I think they're going to go with for both LAFC or the Galaxy, but it's what I think they should put out to succeed. So this is kind of my take on how things should be. Let's just say I'm Bob Bradley or Siggy Schmidt. And also for these lineups, I did my starting 11, and then I picked 3 subs to use off the bench. So yes, pretty straightforward lineup for LAFC. I have Tyler Miller at goal. My defense at right back, I have Beta Shore, who's going to be facing off against his former team. Right center back, I have Walker Zimmerman. Left center back, I have Dejan Djokovic. He's the obvious replacement for Danilo Silva now that Laurent Simon is gone, which is very unfortunate for LAFC, but I do think they will survive. Then I have Jordan Harvey at left back. I think in a matchup near crunch time, you want to go with experience. So I did pick Jordan Harvey over Joao Moutinho. Then in the midfield, I have at CDM, I have Eduard Atuesta, who's a very dynamic box-to-box midfielder. Can't really disagree there. And then I have the nice pairing of Lee Nguyen and Benny Feilhaber to join him in the midfield. And then up top, going with the pretty basic left wing, right wing striker. At left wing, I have Diego Rossi. At right wing, I have the man, Carlos Vela. And then at striker, I have Christian Ramirez. And my 3 subs to use in this match. So when I was looking over this potential matchup, I feel like Toronto FC could jump out to an early lead or something. So I didn't think of any real defensive substitutions for this match. I did put Andre Horta, who I believe will continue to work his way up to starting for LAFC eventually. Then you got to have Latif Blessing, the winger. And Marco Urania is a very underrated playmaker in this league, although not a terrific goal scorer. Now, my one thing for LAFC heading into this game, they cannot take out Christian Ramirez. We saw this in El Tráfico, and all of a sudden, you didn't really have that target guy up top. I don't think Vela or Rossi can really be that target guy up top. And with Diomande out, you don't really have that target man to replace Ramirez. So I think it's important that Christian Ramirez plays the full 90 here. I think you always need to have a target man on. Urania should be a target man, hasn't really been for LAFC. I do think you could bring him in for maybe an Atuesta if needed. Same goes with the Latif Blessing and Andre Horta. They could fit in anywhere here. What I think for this match, I think LAFC has a very good chance at this one, although Toronto will be very hungry for these 3 points at home. But LAFC does have a very talented roster. Let's see what this side could do without Laurent Simon. That's going to be a big question. But Simon, although great at the beginning of the season, did kind of cool off a bit and became a little inconsistent by the end of his time. But salute to you, the General. Hope all is going to be well in Dijon. Let's go to this LA Galaxy game. So Real Salt Lake will host the LA Galaxy on tomorrow, September 1st at 7 p.m. Pacific time. Game will be on ESPN Plus, MLS Live, KMYU, and Spectrum Sportsnet if you are in LA. Real Salt Lake is coming in hot. They've won their last 2 games, including a 6-0 victory in a derby game. So if you're the Galaxy, I would be worried here. But in the past 5 meetings, LA Galaxy has taken 3 of them and has drawn 1. So LA Galaxy do have Real Salt Lake's number in a case. And although Real Salt Lake's coming in hot, there's got to be a point where the LA Galaxy really figure themselves out and really fight for these games. Here's the projected starting lineup. Pretty straightforward for Real Salt Lake. Nick Raimondo behind the net. Then we have Brooks Lennon, Nick Beasler, Justin Glad, Aaron Herrera. So these guys are going through a bit of an interesting time with a lot of injuries. Questionable, they have Marcelo Silva, who would be a nice starting center back for them. But like the Galaxy, they're dealing with injuries, but they're getting through it. As the Galaxy haven't really been getting through it, but Real Salt Lake's really been getting through it. In the midfield, you have Sonny and Kyle Beckerman. Sorry, I forgot to mention they're playing a 4-2-3-1. This is just projected, though. Then in the attacking midfield, we have Jefferson Savarino, Damir Kreilach, and Joao Plata. And then up top as a target man, they have Albert Rusnak. I'm not a big fan of this one. Yeah, I'm really not a fan of Albert Rusnak being a target man. That's not who he is. I don't see why they can't just put in Corey Baird starting there, but I'm not going to complain if I'm a Galaxy fan. It's their fault. Anyways, on to the LA Galaxy side. It's very interesting. A very injured club at least when it comes to the types of players injured. You're missing Giovanni Dos Santos, Jonathan Dos Santos, Michael Ciani, and Roman Alessandrini. But Roman Alessandrini is questionable for this match, as he did suffer a knee injury a couple weeks ago, but it was supposed to be a 1 to 2 week absence. Giovanni Dos Santos and Jonathan Dos Santos, not really sure what's happening there, but I hear they're in training, and Michael Ciani doesn't really matter at this point. Anyways, I mean, Sigi Schmid, I think he always has it wrong in the lineups he puts out for the Galaxy. So here's my take on what should happen with the players available. Like I did for the LAFC game, I did the starting 11 of what I think should be the starting 11, and then I listed 3 possible subs. So honestly, for this game, if the Galaxy could figure out how to score in the first half of the game, then I think they should be fine in this one. And I do think the LA Galaxy could come away with 3 points in this game. I'm not trying to be a biased LA fan here, but LA, they at some point, or at what point do they need to know that every game's important? You hear Zlatan say it in the media. Something in that locker room has to be brewing. And I do think this LA Galaxy side can come alive in this game. And we saw LAFC in the beginning of the season dominate Real Salt Lake at Rio Tinto. Why can't their crosstown rivals, the Galaxy? So here's what I have for my starting 11. This is definitely 100% not going to be the real starting lineup, but this is what I think they should go with in order to win. Here we go. I have a 4-1-2-1-2, so like a 4-4-2 diamond. At goal, I have David Bingham. At right back, I have the dynamic Rolf Feltscher. At right center back, I have the GOAT Daniel Steres. At left center back, we have Dave Romney, who really showed... I mean, I predicted it. I said if Dave Romney wants to have a great game, Siggy has to put Dave Romney as left center back. And you know what Siggy did? He put Dave Romney at left center back, and that was amazing. We saw how good he was in the El Trafico. He's definitely not fullback material, so I definitely think Dave Romney has earned a spot as a left center back, not that weird right wing back thing that Siggy's been trying to accomplish. No, he's a left center back. Then at left back, we have Ashley Cole. At CDM, I have none other than Perry Kitchen. At right mid, I have Chris Pontius. At left mid, this is the key one here, Emmanuel Boateng. We've seen in recent years, Emmanuel Boateng's most dominant performances have been against Real Salt Lake. He's got to be in the starting 11. I don't think Sigi Schmid realizes that Ema Boateng is incredible against Real Salt Lake for some reason, but Boateng's got to start here. And then at Cam, your playmaker, I have Sebastian Lletget, and up top, we have Ola Kamara and Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Now, here are my subs. I have a midfielder sub, a defensive sub, and a forward sub. So the forward sub, I'm going to go with Bradford Jamieson, the fourth. I think they'll put him in to give him more minutes, especially if the LA Galaxy let's say the LA Galaxy are up 3-1. Who you're going to put in? You're going to put in Bradford Jamieson. Another guy I think they're going to throw minutes to, or I hope they throw minutes to give him more experience, especially if the team's winning, Tomas Hilliard-Arce, the rookie center back. And then this one's a little bit of a bold prediction, but I think that if he is questionable to play, I think he would play in a game like this. Roman Alessandrini, I don't think he'll be fit enough to start, but I do think if he is fit enough to play, that he should get some substitution minutes. This is a man who grinds out every single game. So I would definitely go with a Roman Alessandrini. Where do I think this game could go? It could either go two ways. Either the defense crumbles very early and the Galaxy have a tough climb all the way back, or Zlatan or Ola Kamara could put in a goal in the first half and ride that momentum. So we'll just have to wait and see what happens there. But if both these teams follow my game plans, I think that they could get the results they want. I'm Eli Lesser, and I leave you with This Is LA, the greatest anthem ever, by the way.
This is LA, our city, our home, Los Angeles.